Hey YouTube, welcome to another episode of a blind ham radio operator's ham radio adventures. 3 words: Amplifier project complete. Let's go. Thank you very much for 39173. Good luck. Yours in?
America, Bravo 8, Lima, Lima, 55353, Park Victor Echo, 5395, QSL.
All right, here we are back in the shack to discuss the long-awaited amplifier project that, as you all know, has been ongoing since probably April, when I first encountered my issues. So first up, I want to thank my newest subscribers. Really appreciate you joining us here, and hopefully you'll enjoy the content that I present. It's October 20th as I'm recording this section of the video. A beautiful day here on the Rock. 17 degrees Celsius. I'm going to tell you, if this is February 20th or January 20th with these temperatures, I'm not going to complain. Maybe I shouldn't say this, but, you know, climate change in Newfoundland and Labrador might be a good thing. We've never had those high temperatures, you know, like in the 100s and 90s in the summer, and moderate winter climates like you guys get south of the border. But anyway, I digress. If it's 17 degrees in January, on January 20th or February 20th or December 20th, I'm not going to complain. I used to be a big fan of the white Christmas. Everybody got to have a white Christmas, but I'm kind of over it now. The snow and the cold, I'm just really not looking forward to it. Anyway, on with the show. And I apologize if I look a little wet. I just popped out of the shower, so I'm still quite warm. So the amplifier is finally complete, and I will drop in the video clips that we did on Friday, which was the 18th, of it properly tuned up into a dummy load. And we weren't able to really make a contact on 40 meters like I wanted to do Friday night, because the band was just it wasn't in great shape, but what there was, it was mostly rag chews. So we did do a recording of a transmission into one of the online receivers stateside. So to recap, I have done a new parasitic, well, not me, Aaron VO1IV, who you've seen numerous times on the channel. My eyes kind of in this matter. We put in a new parasitic, put in a new D117 diode, which is on the negative rail near the filter capacitor. We have done the W8JI AL-8X upgrade kit, which is GDTs, gas discharge tubes, it's a mouthful, responsible for grounding, and a string of Zehners for the biosing circuit. And as well, there's a relay 102 if you want to look at the schematic for the Ameritron AL-80B that was also knocked out of line. We initially had the amp going, and I came into the shack last week, turned it on, and no go. So come to discover that the R27 resistor had blown again, a new one that we had installed, probably a defective part. And when I let Aaron dig into it some more, he and a pal had discovered that the 102 relay was out of alignment. And from what I understand, this is responsible for basically a flip-flop. So when you power up the amp, this relay comes in line to protect the R27 resistor and the F1 2 amp fast blow fuse on the main power board, because while the filter caps are charging. And then when it's ready to go, it clicks back to allow operation of the amplifier. So somehow that was knocked out of alignment. So the resistor was replaced. The 2 amp fuse, which was an older fuse, was looking like it's on its way out. So so Aaron and a friend of his installed that, fixed the relay, installed the resistor. Powered it up on his friend's bench in 110, in the 110 setting, and all was good. And then we rewired her back to a 220 for here, and all is good. Touch wood, thank goodness. I'm using a spare tube that I managed to pick up over the summer, an Amperex 500ZG. Date coded 97, the 4797, which is the 47th week. I don't know what it is with these manufacturers. They have to do like 47 in the year, or 52 in the year, or 51. Like why not just a date, like, you know, conventional? But anyway, and that's what's installed in the amplifier right now, and it's in excellent shape. It's really, really bright. And you'll see by the tests that we did coming up, it's working really, really well. So that's the story on that. But as you all know, it's been one thing after another. I first had to replace the lamps. Then the smell occurred back in April while I was operating in the FT8 International Day contest from the RSGB. The video is on the channel, and I continued to play with that. I played in that contest, despite a powerful odor coming from the amplifier, but there was no power issues, which was funny. We did the parasitic, did initially a DC blocking cap swap, fired up the amplifier, put it under load for 10 watts to tune it up, and the smell persisted. So we ceased operation right away. We ordered some diodes from Amazon and replaced the D117 diode, which is a meter protection. And seeing as how we were gone that far, I said, well, let's just do the WHAI upgrade kit as well. So we installed that. And in the midst of this work, we found a peculiar item, a bag of spare parts stuffed down between the transformer and the fan motor. And that's the kind of smell it was. Like plastic on a heater. We removed the bag, tutted around, clicked, what the hell, all of that cussing. And life went on. We got the upgrade kits installed. discovered that two capacitors had melted the terminals. The doorknob capacitor in the tank circuit had gone. Plus the R27 10 watt 10 ohm wire wound resistor had cracked on one side, and it looked like somebody had taken a bite out of it on the other side. So we replaced all that and fired up the amp. All was good. Then I fired it up later on, and no go. And the latest cause was this faulty resistor and the 102 relay out of alignment, because it couldn't engage to protect those items against an inrush, which is meant to charge the filter capacitor bank. So that's been fixed, and you'll see in the next segments that the amp is working very, very well. I'm using the second tube, the Amperex, as a precaution. In case something should happen down the road, then I've got my brand new Pentalabs tube that I could probably unload. It's only got like 45 minutes of idle time on it, and maybe a couple of seconds, well, probably 30 seconds of tune-up time on it, and then we got the smell again and ceased operating. And we haven't fired up that tube since. In a tuning environment, we have turned it on to make sure it didn't go gassy and things. So other than that, the tube is pristine. The Amperex is pristine as well. So I'm probably going to go with that tube for a while. And then maybe swap them out in 3 or 4 months' time. So the next segment, you will see the amplifier in operation into a dummy load. And coming up, CQ Worldwide next week. So all hands will be on deck for that, and there'll be some video for that as well. And hopefully, I pray to God that this is it. That this amp will finally be kind to me, and I can get a couple of more good years out of it. There's nothing left to really go wrong, except maybe a possible transformer issue or something like that, because everything else has been replaced. The WHAI upgrade kit, 2 new caps. I'll probably recap the whole amp come summer. I'll probably order some new caps to put in her, and because they're not cheap, they're like $40 a piece here in Canada. And I need what do I need? I need 6 more. No, they're probably more than that. Yeah, they're like $80 a piece. That's what they are. They're like $80 a piece. And I need 6 more. So I'll probably put the money for that in the ham jar over the winter, and then when activity winds down a little bit in the summer, I'll probably take a day and have the amp recapped. I might just buy the full 8, so that way they're all matched, and do that. All right. So with that, let's get to the amplifier testing, and I'll be back then to wrap it up.
Alrighty. So an ARP light, 5 watts of drive, and we're going to key up and rotate our plate and our load for the highest out. Go to 10 watts of drive, plate, load plate.
I'm going to rest for about 10 seconds.
Watts of drive,
and 40.
That was me.
Yeah.
Alright. 40 watts of drive. We're seeing about 80 mils of grid. We're seeing 325 on the plate, and we're seeing 600 watts out.
And then I'd reduce to probably 30. So what do we get with 30 watts?
30 watts of drive is 60 on the grid, 300 plate, and 500 watts.
There you go. Alright, so we'll give her a 20-second cool off on the amp, and then we'll go to 80 meters.
Get all this set up while we're cooling that off. Middle of the band, 3740-ish, depending on where you output. Alright, 80 meters. Plate and load at 12 o'clock. 5 watts of drive. We'll go operate. And plate, load, plate. So that's our plate. That's our load. That's our plate. We have 10 watts. Load 20. Give her a second to breathe. Tuning is the hardest on these tubes anyways.
Yes, yeah.
20 watts of drive. Go plate. Go 40 watts of drive. Alright, 40 watts of drive. We are seeing 60 on the grid, 325 on the plate, and 420 watts out. 425. And for standby, again switch to 40 meters. Radio, band, 40, 7148. Mode, ready. Drive is 5 watts. And plate and load, 12 o'clock. Dummy load's getting a little warm. Nice. 5 watts of drive, plate, load, plate.
Probably use 10.
No. Just find where these gotta be first, or anything else. Ten watts of drive.
So after this segment, we'll pause for probably 10 minutes, and then we'll get you to do the other segments of it.
Let the dummy load cool off. Now with 30 watts of drive, so it's on 40 meters, she's a little hot on 40 meters. We got 30 watts of drive, plate, load, and plate, and we're seeing 70 on the grid, 300 on the plate, 600 watts.
Okay.
Alright, carrying on.
Yeah.
So, 20 meters. Plate and load at 12 o'clock. We'll go 20. We'll go middle of the band here.
So I don't do 30, and I don't do the work bands, and the reason being is because this amplifier is pre-MFJ 1997, and back then a lot of those amplifiers were produced to only go as high as 15, and they didn't do the work bands very, very well, and you had to do a mod for 10, which was the snipping of a wire, and because it's a 500Z tube and everything, you could get into, like, you know, oscillations with the parasitic and things like that. So I will do 10. That's one of the contest bands. But 12 and 17 and 30, I don't do. What people do with these amps is they happen to adjust the input, the slugs, tuning slugs, to optimize them for the work bands, and so I don't operate on the work bands.
No.
Alright. So we're in video upper side. 14 220, middle of the band. Band switch is on 20, plate and load is straight up, 12 o'clock. Operate switch, and let's carry on. Okay, so we'll do plate. Then we'll do load. And then plate.
Give it a 10-second rest.
When you're on low power, like 5 or 10 watts, the plate and load, the controls will be quite sluggish. They're not very precise. So that's why I start low, find just a general range, go up to 10, 15, 20, and carry on from there, right? Go up in power to get tighter. So 10 watts for now. Plate, load, plate. Watts.
Seeing good numbers.
Yep. Read all the numbers out now when I get started. 40 watts of drive.
She tuned the lamp. Good sign.
Give her a second to breathe now. So I have 40 watts of drive. We're seeing.
Focus. Yeah, okay.
I'll read them out anyways. We're seeing 110 on the grid. We're seeing 320 on the plate. And we're seeing 700 watts.
Nice.
Alright, put on standby, 15 meter position, plate and load 12 o'clock, band 15, 21 to 58, so middle-ish of the band, middle-ish, yeah. And ready. Come on, there you go, ready. And 5 watts. And it's just the same procedure. Amp and operate. Adjust our plate. There she is.
She would be a little lower on the higher bands. 15 and
10 watts of drive.
I wouldn't exceed 400 watts on this band. Whatever that is.
Watts of drive. Well, at 20 watts of drive, we have 60 on the grid, 280 on the plate, and 500 watts.
Yeah, that's
Plenty.
that's plenty.
And we'll put that back in standby. We'll let that dummy load rest, and we'll get back to you in a bit. Alright, 10 meters, 28, triple 4.5. Lucky numbers, I suppose. We're on ready upper side, 5 watts of drive, 10 meter position, plate and load at 12 o'clock, amp is in operate, into the dummy load, and let's key up, find our plate. Here she is. Plate. Load. Here she is. Bring us up to 10 watts of drive. Okay, on 10 meters. 20 watts of drive. We're seeing 60 on the grid, 280 on the plate, and 400 watts.
That's plenty. That's plenty.
Okay. We shall go to 40 meters.
40 meters.
Victor Oscar 1, India Victor testing, 500 watts, 500 watts, Ameritron AL-80B Bravo, A2 Foxtrot Tango 710, and an AZ 40 meter standby call. Victor Oscar 1, India Victor Print.
Okay. So that was the amplifier. Operating into a dummy load on all bands. And as you saw, things look quite normal. Decent amount of grid and plate current, and decent amount of power out. And from the web SDR recording, I'm sure you heard the big difference between 20 watts barefoot and then 20 watts into the amplifier, making 500 watts out, and that little bear at the end, or alligator, and it still came through the QRM with the 500 watts. So all looks good. All looks good. And like I said in the earlier preamble, I hope that this is finally it, that I can get back to comfortably operating the amplifier with those power levels, 500-600 watts. I do have a Yagi here, so that's not going to be a big deal on 20, 15, and 10. I don't think I need to throw a kilowatt into my beam. That has 8 dB gain. And the fan works very well for 80 and 40 that I have here as well. So should be able to do quite fine with 500 or 600 watts out, and hopefully, touch wood, cross fingers, cross eyes and toes, the whole 9 yards, that I can get what I intended out of this amplifier when I bought it last year, and that's, many years of service. I've got 2 great tubes, one brand new that was purchased this past June, and that itself should last me for years. And I really hope. The test will be coming now for CQ Worldwide, when we all get together and do a 48-hour to see how she's going to hold up at 500 watts, And we do moderate shifts, right? So it's not like it's one up, one off, steady go. We do give half-hour breaks between shifts to let things cool off. And on another note, this will be the first real contest with the new 710. So I'm hoping things are going to go very, very well. It's going to be a great contest. We're going to have lots of fun, lots of food, lots of eats, lots of video clips and lots of lies. Probably our biggest contest on the GRC calendar is this one. And we usually get some nice DX along the way as well. So hopefully I can get a video for that and get that up to you as soon as possible. So on that note, I want to thank you all again, and if you came across this video, first time, smash the like button and subscribe. And I'll continue to bring some blind ham radio operators adventures content. And yeah, so stay tuned, and thank you for coming along for the ride. And we'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys. 7-3.